Hello everyone, welcome in. We have for you today some KAGI Top Cut. Specifically, we have Tutenkharnage versus ianyoinc, and we will be covering the round 1 of the KAGI Top Cut for KAGI 12.0, and I've got with me as a co-commentator the one, the only, Kalos. How you doing, Kalos?
I'm doing great, thank you, Mirth. How is everyone today?
That's I'm doing fine. We got Snoopy in the chat. Welcome in, Snoopy. First time chat. I see. I know you're active in Discord. Welcome in, Grishhammer. Love to see it, and thank you, Grishhammer, for the follow. I appreciate it. Always appreciated.
Indeed, you've always got a little small crowd in here whenever I pop in.
Well, it's getting bigger. It's getting bigger with the people just joining.
Indeed, give it a couple of months and you'll be full time.
yeah. Almost. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. You know. I just have
The world's first full-time Keyforge streamer.
That's right. I'm only like 8,000. I don't even know. I'm so far away from getting monetized on YouTube.
In the grand scheme of the world, 8,000 isn't that big.
No, it's like because you need like 4,000 watch hours or whatever it is. It's like 4,000 watch hours. Welcome in, not tonight. And it's like I am far. Sorry, I'm like way louder than you are. I'm very far away from getting monetized on YouTube.
Let's talk about the deck, shall we?
Yeah, we can. I don't know if you can see. I have the compare screen up on the stream. We've got Erasmus the Cackling, and we've got Kiroga of Rainhurst. Kiroga the Rainhurst is a Worlds Collide. That's going to be ianyoinc's deck. And then we've got Erasmus the Cackling, which is a Amber Skies deck, and that's going to be piloted by Ian. And Erasmus is a Disgeistoid Logos deck. Also, welcome in, Riku. It's a 76 SAS, and then we've also got Kiroga of Rainhurst. And that is a 69 SAS Worlds Collide of Logos, Shadows, Untamed. Now, fun fact, this is actually an alt-art deck. It has an alt-art Unsuspecting Prey in it, which is really cool.
Look at that.
So it's not.
We won't be able to look at it.
Yeah, unfortunately, they did send me a picture. But you know, it's not as appreciative as when you're playing in person.
I will say what attracted me the most was this Legacy Poke over here.
Yes, yeah, that is really cool. That is actually really cool. I Focus is one of those cards. Man, I wish I worked on your own creatures.
Yes, me too.
That'd be way better. But what are you gonna do?
Indeed, I've had a little bit of time to look at both. I think Erasmus looks really tricky to pilot. I look forward to seeing the first game and seeing what they do with it. The first impressions I've got is the strong feeling of a capture on is very, very nasty. And they have a worm tunnel of a capture on, which is also very, very nasty. And then a bunch of capture throughout the deck, which can all be readied with a strong feeling.
Yeah, the worm tunnels. This is some of like the best worm tunnel value I think I've ever seen in a deck, with the number of capture pips. Half the time, worm tunnel does absolutely nothing for me. Great card. Like, I think it's a. That's what I said. Yeah, Erasmus is Tutenkharnage's deck. Yeah, that's correct. We're adaptive, so they're both gonna be piloting each deck. And then Kiroga is Ian's deck. But no, worm tunnel really good. I think the Ponder is just really nice. If you see that the Logos house enhancements landed on Slayer and Harvest Skimmer, which aren't really what you'd like to see. You know, like, I don't think that's anything crazy.
No, you definitely prefer it on some other cards here.
Like, you could have hit an Arise, it could have hit Infinity Strop, or the Tell No Tales, it could have hit pretty much anything. Could have hit like anything there is and been better. Now with all the capture pips, it's worth like there's a lot of self-amber removal. Like, there's a strong feeling in here in Geistoid, and that's like that alone is just like getting that amber off the board, deleting it, really nice. And both decks are pretty disruptive. We see a Mindfire, we see 2 Suspend Demanders, we got a Venom Hawk. What else have we got in here? I think that's it. Oh,
I'm looking at the Echo Fly personally.
Yeah, but sorry, I was talking about disruption.
Oh, disruption. Cool.
Yeah.
The thing about the DDoS. The DDoS is going to be very strong.
Yes, it will be, especially putting it onto something something small like a Daughter, or Venom Hawk. What's the smallest creature in here? Echofly, I guess, right? No.
The 2 powers, I think.
Yeah.
There's no 1 powers in here.
If only. But yeah, like that. There's a lot of small creatures, which is actually good for Kiroga, because Kiroga's got a Flanktooth Cavern, stuff like the Molthans, and not a ton of stealing, but just like some nice to be able to deal with. Like the Umbra's gonna get value, the Mac the Knife can get value. Welcome in, Floxamon. Welcome in.
Welcome on in.
If you don't know Floxamon, they are a Twitch streamer as well. They cover a lot of KAGI, so please go give them a follow.
I can definitely vouch. I was watching their KAGI showcase the other day. I think it was KAGI.
Yeah. What I think it was. No, that was KTL.
KTL.
I think.
KTL.
Yeah,
that's what I was watching.
They do a lot. They're very active. Recommend following them. The another thing too is that Kiroga has 2 key cheats, which I don't know. I don't think the Data Forge is really all that viable.
Yes, when I was looking at that, I kind of wish the Data Forge was in the other deck.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be super valuable. I mean, stuff like the I thought there was I must have misread it. I thought there was the Connect Me, but there's not. But the key charge.
There is the Tau Tau and the Babbling Bibliophile, and also the Titan Guardian, all which draw 2 cards each.
Yeah.
So it's not impossible to fire, but I think it would be a very specific circumstance.
I agree. There is a Gravit Cycle and a key charge, and the key charge is far more alive. There's a lot of Amber gain. There's a fair amount of Amber gain in Untamed, and then a Gravit Cycle as well to maybe get like back-to-back turns with it. I don't imagine it's Gravit Cycle is going to be too strong in this deck, but there's some cards you really have to get back. Like Oubliette's very good. Rig Lottery is very good. Tropic Swirl. Like Universal Keylock can be important. Like Telegraph Taxing. I think Universal Keylock is a really skill testing card.
Yes, it's very good for KAGI.
Very excited to see how that how players pilot that. So
I'm not sure whether they play the Cavern here. I think they've got a Pan Packet Anger, which buffs all their creatures up. And maybe the Grasping Vines to return it if you don't want it on the board anymore.
Personally, I'm in favor of the number of 2 and 3 power creatures. I think you're almost always in control of what gets destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you definitely... I mean, I guess I shouldn't say definitely. I feel like you do play the Fangtooth Cavern. Especially like, it's going to help you deal with the Echo Flies. So...
The Double Daughter,
the
Venomhawk.
The Venomhawk. It's just like it's not gonna hit everything. Chauncey, like it's just like I feel like it is helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And for a deck that's pretty light on C, both these are very light on C. So I think it will make a difference. And I expect to be played in all the games.
There'll definitely be some fighting happening. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. If they don't, it's going to be a very short game. So we're just waiting on the game to be created and the players to get into it.
I was looking at Kiroga and I was looking at the Double Subtle Chain and I was looking for the Chain Gang, but unfortunately the deck doesn't have one.
No, yeah, I thought so as well. Almost always when you see Double Subtle Chains, you're like, oh, okay, there probably is a Chain Gang in here, but there's not. But still, you're very happy to see 2 discards. Like you're happy to see that. And there's also a Kymor Eclipse. So
you knock in here somewhere out of the other hand or a Gift of Amber. And that's the massive swing.
Yep. Or even hitting like just like hitting some of the good scrap effects like Echo Fly, so they can't get it on their turn. Skip the Glorious, so they can't use. I guess do they have any artifacts that? Yeah, so they can't use your hologram from a special delivery, stuff like that. You know,
Yes,
I think
the
that's
special delivery would hurt.
okay. So we got the game up. So if you want to go hop into that as well, Kalos.
Mm-hmm. This will be my first time commentating someone else's game, so
There we go. Yes. Yeah. Kalos also does stream.
occasionally.
Occasionally, you're getting into it. You're getting into it.
I will be streaming KAGI matches if no one else is able to.
We always like to support other creators here.
So both players don't know what's being played until the match starts, right?
That's correct. Yes, they won't know. I mean, maybe if they tuned into the stream, it's kind of expected they won't. But also, both deck selections have been submitted prior, so there's no funny business, no switching up last minute.
So they get to react live to what the opponent's bringing, whereas we've already analyzed it.
Exactly, and there's going to be no open hands for this one.
That's right. I'll use my mental tricks to decide what's in the hand.
Very good card counting. So it's going to be needed. So ianyoinc won the coin flip. So Karoga will be going first in all games. Just as a little reminder, I know that is a KAGI specific rule, and I know one that other leagues have adopted as well after our implementation. But that is a KAGI rule on the change to the original adaptive rules. So always good to remind you, yourself, your opponent, and everyone. That's how it works. Same deck goes first every game.
So I think what we're looking to see here from Karoga is maybe a Babbling Bibliophile go down turn 1, or a Daughter, or maybe even a Fangtooth if you want to set the creature control early.
I feel like, I mean, yeah, I agree. I think you do just want any of your high value creatures. I think you're happy with Hapsis, even like a Jargoggle, a Daughter, just sort of anything that can kind of start getting the value out. And we see Tata Vapors, which is also just good value.
That's not bad at all. Ooh, okay. Then Ormark down turn 1 is not great for
No.
Ian.
Now it's interesting though, because Tata Vapors 2 is something like there's not a lot of archive in this deck, and so getting a Tata Vapors turn 1, we see a Chimera Eclipse shuffling that Venom Hawk back, so an immediate answer, which is really nice, and a Subtle Chain to knock them down, some card advantage. The Tata Vapors
Drop's very strong.
Yeah, Infinity Swap is really strong. Nice to see that. See that gone. But like, one of the things with Tata Vapors is that when you have very few archiving and very little ways to access it, it can be like I think in a deck with little archiving and some important cards, it can be disadvantageous to play it early because you do lose that ability to sort of like card select something important for the archive, because the archiving is a lot of efficiency, right? It's a lot of potential advantage in the future. So while it's a great turn 1 card, it's a lot of efficiency, right? It's a plus, like, you know, it's a plus a draw and an archive. Very efficient, but you know, can at the same time harm the potential performance of a deck later on in the game.
What do we reckon the special delivery will be waiting around for?
If I'm the special delivery, I would like it to hit probably the Echo Fly is what I would like to get out of there.
I think you're under pressure to use it somewhat early because of the remote access and the Skippy.
For sure, and the small creature count over in Ian's deck in general.
But nothing on the board I'd use it for at the moment.
No, I'm not even like obviously Javind is good. Javind is very good, but at the same time, I don't think it's necessarily. And we see a Fangtooth.
Interesting.
Although
something else going to take the fall for Vinda here?
I don't know actually. Special
Harmonia. Oh.
Well, they put the Harmonia after using the special delivery, so they actually don't get that amber that they would have otherwise. Oh no, it's after you play a creature. Okay, so it's in a different window.
Purging the Mosquito is certainly a play.
Yeah, I guess they're just really worried about it being used against them with the 2 Logos cards that can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, I don't think is wrong. It's not necessarily what I would do. I think, like, do you really care? Oh, and TCO's decided not to load this one card. So that is a Slayer.
It's a Logos and Hearth Slayer as well.
It is, yeah. The Logos enhancement is actually way easier to see when there's no card art. Let me see if I can.
Advantage right now.
Let me see if I can actually just refresh that real quick.
So just 3 creatures played that turn.
I don't know what it is about. You know, I've actually left the. Let's see if it all loads in for me. I think TCO's been very temperamental. Yeah, it all loaded.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Keylock goes down.
That's actually really surprising. I didn't really think that they'd be playing the Universal Keylock here. Especially when you're expecting to go to check here. Like, they didn't need that to get the check, right? They would be at 6 otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like a really odd... It seems like an odd decision for the tempo of the game. Like, I think you'd rather get the... Especially with, like, the amount of small capture. I mean, I guess with the amount of small capture, you're not really necessarily expecting to forge here anyways. But it feels odd to sort of force... Because the odds are really good Ian is going to forge first. Especially, like, we know Tutenkharnage's deck doesn't produce a ton of amber. It's got... You know, it's pretty efficient. But it doesn't really produce amber outside of its board. So it does seem a little odd to me here that you sort of, you know, play it with the expectation of being the one to break it.
With not a lot of amber control as well. It's if you're going to use that on yourself, then you're left with just the double Umbra and the G-Binder that is currently on the board.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And like, it's not like Ian's deck is super amber. It doesn't have crazy amber generation either. So.
Yeah, I think the more time you give Erasmus to start setting up all the capture pips, the worse it is for you. So that this does slow the game down.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Or perhaps Jan's foresaw this happening.
I suppose, but all Ian needs to do is gain 2 amber, and then, you know, right? Like it's a position where, you know, you're already so close to check, perhaps, and like Tutenkharnage here is very incentivized to, if they go up to 9, let them forge, right? Delete through the amber, save your capture pips, and maybe just use the board. So it does seem, it just seems a little odd.
Especially if they didn't play it, they would have been able to forge last turn if Tuten didn't play something with a capture pip on.
Exactly. And now, and if they hadn't played it and they were forcing a check, maybe it throws off Tutenkharnage's game plan because they might feel pressured to stop the first key.
Yeah. Just taking some time to think here, it seems.
That is unfortunately allowed.
I'm looking at the Fangtooth Cavern with the Portal Guardian at the moment, which might be a way to gain some amber, but then let your opponent capture 2 so you don't forge a Keylock.
Yeah, that is true. Sort of creating a little amber bank for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's just an interesting position because we know Tutenkharnage's deck, I think, has less printed amber. I think is lower amber generation in general. And actually, I think that's true, right? Okay,
Kroger has one more amber.
Yeah, it's 11 to 12, so it's nothing crazy. But I do think it just sort of is it is an interesting position where I think Tutenkharnage can play the game, get more out of their deck not getting amber than Ian can. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm looking at their discard part at the moment. It seems they've pretty much got every house even. So I'm not expecting a big hand here of one house.
But you go shadows.
Interesting. Oh.
Okay, that's really odd. That's just very odd. You're playing Into the Night, which is not fighting, which I get it. You know, you're trying to get the board out, but why would you play the? Why would you want them to maintain the board and not kill the Purple Guardian?
Well, it's just essentially a non-turn, right? Nothing happened.
Yeah, time walking yourself. Oh no, I mean that's not true, right? You're still cycling 2 cards, so there is like they're cycling. It just strikes me as odd. Now I do know Ian is very good at this deck, and you know they have a very good record in adaptive with this deck.
Mm-hmm.
But it just does some of the decisions here have struck me as odd.
Yeah, Grishhammer in the chat saying there's an odd situation where players might play key checking to avoid the tax. I think if anyone's in favor of that here, it's Tutenkharnage with the board.
I would agree. I think if we're just looking at the game state, Tutenkharnage is like quote unquote winning.
Yes. Okay, just some little turns back and forth here.
Yeah, of course, Gale. We'll keep an eye on the challenge. And here's that chicken. You know, like this is here is some chicken.
Yeah, we have a Uforge. No Uforge.
And of course, Tutenkharnage is opting to play the Skippy the Glorious there as some advantage.
Yeah, build up a bit of an archive, get some more options for future turns. I think if I'm Jan here, forging is almost a death sentence for almost 2 keys with no amber control. Back into shadows.
Oubliette purges the Skip the Glorious. I think you're fine. You're fine with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then doing the Purple Guardian strategy.
I agree.
Putting it on Fort Capture is certainly a play, though. Oh, you have to put it. Do you have to put it on? No. Just thinking how if you kill the Fort Capture here, it's 2 extra draws. So maybe put it on something else.
Yeah, I guess my guess is that they're because the Thought Catchers is also technically an advantage engine for them. So they're looking to guarantee card draw. That is only 1 draw too, right? It's not per amber, it's just if they have amber on it. So I guess they're saying like, hey, if you want to kill a Thought Catcher, like you're guaranteeing me 1 draw, which I understand the logic. So I agree with both Noctonite and Grishhammer. I think the fact that Tutenkharnage here has a board. We know both decks don't have a lot of C. We know ianyoinc does not have a ton of C in their deck. Time War Eclipse is already gone. Oubliette is gone. Special Delivery gone. So like low C deck, they already have a bunch of their. There is no too much to protect. No, but these are the decks.
Unfortunately.
So it's just one of those things where I agree with the chat. Essentially, I do think that giving up the Amber and Tempo Forge here isn't worth playing the chicken when you're already ahead. Like, I think when you're ahead, you just want to be playing the game and for them to respond.
Good discard there.
Yeah, it is nice. It is nice. They don't want to be drawing. At this point with the board, they don't want to be drawing off-post cards. So if they can get Dis and Logos out of there, and be only drawing Geister, they're happy.
I'm suspecting another card's going to be played here, considering the archive was taken. Maybe a Gift of Amber, or deciding on an Arise, perhaps.
Well, they're in Geistoid. Wait, is there?
Oh yeah.
They're in Geistoid. Yeah.
Geistoid.
I mean, it also could have been a thing too, where the other Thought Catcher may have been in the archive, and they just decided to leverage their board first, and they're like, oh well, I have this, may as well get it out while I can. So like, it may have just been something where they plan on using their boards and to spite their hand to not move any cards, and just get the Thought Catcher out. We do see a Manifestation getting played. So choose a card and haunt the player's discard pile and resolve the bonus icons. So there's not really a ton of good bonus icons. It's just Amber.
I do like the picking the discard here, though. I think discarding 2 discards in your hand this turn. Oh, it's top of the deck, isn't it, for Harvest Skimmer? So probably not going Dis next turn, I suspect.
Yep, and both Suspendamanders are gone, so that Dis board is very neutered. Now the good thing about it is that they have 2 Arises, so discarding the Dis creatures is essentially like it's free real estate because you just get the card advantage and the creatures can go back next turn. Oh, and there's that pop value. There's that pop value that you'd like to see. You love to see it. Now they will draw 2 cards, mind you, with a Thought Catcher, which is phenomenal. That's great value. And ianyoinc
you have to
will
wonder
be...
if they drew a Logos card there.
Odds are low. But they do go to 8 here, so they'll be on check 6 once Tutenkharnage breaks his key lock. But I don't think... It's just one of the things where, like, I'm not sure Tutenkharnage cares at this point that they've wasted 3 Amber. Now, they should have reaped 2 creatures before. They didn't to avoid the lock. They'd be in a much better position here. So back to the comments that Not Tonight and Grisham made in chat, but okay, I think you're totally fine here, right? The tempo here is very much on Tutenkharnage's side. They're in control of the game.
They got 8 cards in hand.
Exactly.
So definitely going to check again this turn, I suspect. I think it's unlikely we get another Geistoid turn. But not impossible.
With 8 cards in hand, I can't imagine they go Geistoid again. Like, you do at some point need to start moving cards.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of the Logos cards are gone. Oh, it's just not true.
Perhaps. So have you played Koroga, or have you witnessed it being played before?
First time seeing it. First time seeing both.
Just aware it's ooh, that's a strong discard.
They hit.
I think you're fine not taking a steal there. Oof.
Yeah.
I would react the same way. Here comes the Arise.
Yeah, and this is just really nice. Nice ordering on like the cards that we've seen from Tutenkharnage.
Hmm.
You know, the logos, all the cards just sort of come at the right time. The discard pips hit things nicely, and we're still at 8 cards in hand. Right, like
Yes, I'm
there's
suspecting.
like I imagine this is going to be a big disc turn.
There's not much they could play other than creatures, though.
But
They
I mean,
played the Mindfire.
like
The Drop's gone.
like you are happy to get Suspend Manners on board, to shut down the actions. Like, you're happy to get the Chauncey on board, for a real Amber threat. Like I like, oh, and a Gift of Amber, beautiful. I think
I removed the ward here.
Yeah, I agree. I think you remove the ward, and you probably remove. Oh, okay. They're just going for the burst.
Yeah, I mean, 2 low-value creatures. I'm not a big fan of Chauncey, personally.
Oh, never mind. There's a second Arise right there. So,
Bring
JK.
straight back.
Yep, doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
And another capture going on here.
Yeah. Ooh.
This all goes back to that key lock.
There we go. And then the Venom Hawk which got shuffled in off the Chimeras Eclipse, is back. Now, I'm a little surprised why they didn't put Venom Hawk on the left of the Titan Apparition. Like, I don't really know what they're leaving this taunt spot open for.
Maybe a daughter, perhaps?
I guess it's probably the Echo Fly.
Or the Echo Fly.
So they're probably leaving it open for the Echo Fly, but at this point, like, I mean, it just seems very slow.
Cabin anyway.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see an Echo Fly get discarded. And use the scrap effect.
Oh, there we go. Grasping gets played back down. They get a nice little extra Amber Pip. Fun little action.
Mm-hmm.
Unsuspecting Prey here
prey.
is gonna, yeah.
Interesting. So you could have killed the Vanamark with the Unsuspecting Prey and then hit a 3-power.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they didn't do that, because you think you'd want to just like get the Chauncey off the board.
I'd want to thin this board. I think.
Yeah, like
kind of just so far ahead that you want as little creatures as possible on the board.
Like, I don't know. This is Chauncey represents 3 Amber.
Yeah.
Like, Venom Hawk is 1 less card for you, and it seems odd to me. That seems like an odd choice. Like, you could just remove 1 extra creature.
I mean, I think you just go dis here and win, right? I don't think Kuroga has any way to take them off check.
Correct. Yeah, I think you do. I don't think there is any of the Amber control is relevant here, because they can go up to, they can fight with one of the, right? They can fight with this. Oh no, they can't. Yeah, they can't. Yeah.
So destroying the Chauncey here is the difference between the end of the game and perhaps not.
Yeah. Because they can just reap for 3 and blow up 1, like blow up the Slayer, and they go up to 8. Like I think that's. And I mean, it's one of those things too, right? Like maybe Ian knows that. Maybe they're just trying to get to the end of the game because it is adaptive, right? So maybe they're just saying like, I won't show any more of my tricks, and I just kind of want the game to be over. It's like a little soft inting, you know?
Yes, I have done that before in KAGI.
So it could be a broader decision. They didn't blow up the Chauncey. That's fascinating. I mean, they win regardless. Yeah, but I guess.
I suppose by actioning it, you then tell Jan which creature you pick, which might have an impact next game.
I don't know if it does though. I mean, there's a clear answer here in the Slayer.
There's an argument for the Thought Catcher, perhaps. Drawing 4 is
you only draw 1. You only draw 1 because it's not per Amber.
Oh, you only draw 1.
Yeah, it's if it has Amber on it, not per Amber.
Ah. Okay, I've completely misread Thought Catcher for all my life. Fair enough. A quick one there.
Yeah, I don't mind
A decisive win from Tutenkharnage. Demos for each amber. Perhaps that's where I'm getting confused. I mean, 4 catch is good enough as is, so. I think if you're Yarn here, you barely got to see what the capture pips do, so I think having to pilot that on the fly might be a bit tricky.
Oh, and I need to update the text.
You do indeed.
Hey, it didn't blow up.
They bought. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Menino. Yeah,
Indeed, the rematch feature worked.
that's always nice when that happens. Yeah, there were 2 catchers. Yeah, so they did end up drawing 2, which I think is pretty good value. I think it's good value.
Yeah, for sure.
Card draw scales better. Like, it's better at scale. It's like it snowballs. Like every job after the first one is just what's the like exponentially better, and more likely to draw you into a relevant card. So like 1 draw versus 1 discard, 1 discard's always better. But once you start adding more draws on top of the first draw and like the ability to chain them, that's where it shines. Whereas discards at large numbers, they start getting in the way of things. So that's just an interesting little difference.
I've got a couple of enhanced cards with double discard on them. They can be really frustrating to have in hand.
Yeah, oftentimes you just have to discard them if you've been hand shaping for a bit and sort of one just pops up. Sometimes they're really nice, at the start of the turn, start of the game, they're really nice, but they can just be really annoying for hand shaping.
We've got a Jagoggle turn 1 here, which is, I think, one of the best ones we picked out.
Yeah, I like the Jagoggle turn 1 here. I think you're kind of daring them to deal with it. And Mindfire hits Penpeka Aga, which I think is actually pretty unfortunate.
Yes, I would like Anger on the board. Especially considering we had no board for the Worlds Collide last game.
And I have a feeling that's going to continue.
Into shadows. So we learned that Into the Night was underneath Jagoggle there.
Just phenomenal. You love to see it.
Well, one of the worst cards. But yes, we'd like to see that discarded.
Yeah, I mean, it's just free efficiency, right? You didn't have to deal with it. You don't have to do it on a Shadow's turn.
Yeah, you don't have to play it. There's no discard pips in Worlds Collide. Ooh. I think the Energy Vampirism getting discarded there is a little unfortunate.
I agree. Great card. Especially like this. This is a little rough lineup here, right? Strong Feeling is gone, and Energy Vampirism.
Yeah.
Just like
maybe with an Echo Fly next turn, we can discard it to bring one back. But
yeah,
you do have the in here somewhere as well.
An early Key Charge, a card we never saw come up last game.
It was discarded early.
Oh, was it?
Yes, and then they flipped their deck.
Completely missed that.
How do we feel about Molfin as a card in general?
Love it. Big fan Molfin. I think it's really interesting. I think it's well designed. Does it matter in this matchup? No, it doesn't. It's just Mindfire. But I think it's really interesting. Hazardous 3 was really good. The Guts is strong. Really just full decks that want to have a board. I think it's great, especially basically it really hurts shadows. Like, it really hurts shadows, specifically like early set shadows like Coda and AOA and Worlds Collide.
Yes.
So no, I think it's a well designed card.
Well, we see Tutenkharnage bringing the board first in this matchup.
Yeah, this is actually this is interesting. I like it. Another thing too about Molfen is that it's this really sticky body. So even if there's no you know, what do you call it, stealing on the other side, like it's just a really sticky body to guarantee you some reaps and amber later. That's great. Is it super impactful? No, but you know, it's a little money ball card.
And there it goes.
Yep, it gets dropped to infinity. And one of the arises is gone.
Yeah, no creatures to pull apart from Fort Catcher there.
Yeah, which is fair. Gift of Amber here. I'd blow up both the logos creatures, I think.
Yeah, considering you're ahead, I would probably defeat a bit of the board here. Choosing to go for your own creatures.
Huh.
Didn't get anything with the draw as well. Certainly a strategy. I'm not sure it's one I would have employed. But I think if you're on the back foot, perhaps bursting, knowing that Tutenkharnage's deck doesn't have a lot of amber control.
Yeah, I guess so. It just feels like one of the ways Tutenkharnage gets into this game is kind of through the board. So it just seems odd to me to just let that live, especially the Wormhole Technician. Like,
and that's being demonstrated here.
Like, you know, blow that up. Like, leave your Thought Catcher, like leave your Harvest Skimmer for like, you know, leave your Harvest Skimmer for like Amber Gain, House Cheating, whatever. Kill the Thought Catcher and kill the Wormhole Technician. Sure, that gets you to 7. They're not stopping 7 anyways. Now they're getting free. Now they're getting free card advantage.
Entropic Spell gave them 2 amber. They've got an archive and 2 reaps when you could have destroyed them last turn.
Exactly. So that seems like a really
DDoS coming down. We didn't see that last game. And instantly drawing 2 more cards. I think that's my favorite. It wasn't on the Worm Tunnel, it was on the DDoS. There is a Worm Tunnel that is capture enhanced.
Nice.
Are you picking Hologramophone there? I think I'm special delivering their daughter.
No, I'm picking Hologramophone with the DDoS and Minerva's Wings on that daughter. I think that's a lot of value. Like that, the amount of creature disruption there is really good. Like, unless they can get rid of that, right? They have to fight. Like if they want, yeah, like Fangtooth can come down, sure. But like if they want to get rid of this like daughter now, they have to fight with all 3 of their creatures.
There is a special.
Oh, I guess that's not true. Yeah. You're right. So they could only fight with 2, but like that's still like a lot of tempo to get rid of that card. And I think like you do really, and like they've just gone to logos how many times, right? Like, do they want to lose that much? Like that much tempo?
I mean, it just depends what we've got in hand from Tutenkharnage here. If it's a handful of 5 powers from I didn't have 5 powers. If it's a hand of high creatures, perhaps it's worth destroying the daughter.
Yeah, but then it's also like it like, you know, it's already up key, already has a second. They are and now they have a really, really high value creature on the board that Tutenkharnage needs to answer.
Yeah, we've still got an unsuspecting prey around, don't we?
Yeah.
I think if we have it here, we probably play it with the special delivery.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
But I think that's the only solution apart from fighting, right? Or a Fangtooth. Oubliette, I suppose, works as well. That's it.
Yeah, Fangtooth,
Oubliette.
Basically any of their C cards. There we go. And then they can Omni the daughter. Now, it would have been really nice if they had another Logos creature to hit the special delivery to put the daughter not on a flank.
Mm-hmm.
So now they... Okay, so they don't push the delivery, and they do opt to get the
Where you destroy your own daughter if you purge it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they get to keep their special delivery.
So I think knowing that's their hand anyway, maybe this. I always special delivery that, I think, rather than ward my own daughter. But everyone plays differently.
Yeah, I think Tutenkharnage is basically saying, like, I need, like, I can't sacrifice a creature on board. Like, sure, it might get purged, you know what I mean? Like, sure, it gets purged, but like, is a reflip really gonna happen? And is it really gonna matter?
Yeah.
But is the 1 amber from Daughter over the next, like, 5 turns gonna matter? Probably.
We've got Geistoid. They didn't really do much last game. They played a board and they reaped with it. Let's see if we get some Echo Fly shenanigans going.
Okay, let's see what they get within here somewhere. I kind of feel like you get Infinity Strop and Gift of Amber. Or Infinity Strop in one of the discards.
There it is. Gift of Armor, Infinity Strop.
There we go. Yep.
And we got a tricky decision from Tutenkharnage here. No way to stop them, from what I know. Oh, we can still have the Keylock in play, right?
Yeah, Keylock can get hit. We know that there's an archive in there. Do we know what it is?
It would hurt to play Keylock here though, because then you're kind of expecting to get to 2 keys before you get your first.
I agree. Yeah.
We don't know what the archive is. It was. Oh no, we do. It's Rigged Lottery.
Rigged Lottery. Oh, that's a good card to get archived.
Certainly, it doesn't affect Jan's deck, so you get all the value from it.
Yeah, that's really nice.
I think at this point, either you play the Keylock or the Keylock's not gonna matter.
Yep, I agree.
Not a bad turn from Logos though.
No, not at all. I mean, you get, like, you get 3 amber plus a ward on either your Daughter, or you can fight with the Hapsis too here, right? You can ward the Hapsis, fight the Portal Guardian. You know, and you're chilling, and then you can just, like, special. So you can then. Okay, special. Oh, they do Ring Lottery, so they get 3 amber. No, Ring Lottery has a pip. They get 2 amber from it, and they get hand information too. No, that's top deck. What am I doing? Been way too long since I've seen that card.
Purging the Brill Exponder here. And then saving your daughter by sacrificing the Umbra.
It's a sacrifice they're willing to make.
Is it necessarily a sacrifice that wins you the game?
I don't think Tutenkharnage is necessarily in a good position to win the game, but I think it puts them. I just think the 1 extra card from Daughter, it really matters over the course of many turns.
Yeah, I think just with the 2 Umbras and the Keylock left, I think maybe you keep the Umbra on board just in the event that you do have some sort of out here. I don't think they are winning, but
no, yeah, they're probably not winning, but puts them in a better position. And there's the Infinity Strap and the Arise. Getting all the disc creatures.
And a Gift of Amber, which should seal the game.
Yeah, puts
here.
him to 6, yeah.
Keylock will be stalling at this point. Are we going to see Keylock here?
I think if they keylock here, they're actually just doomed. Like I think like that's like obviously like it's a rough
Well,
spot
yeah.
anyways, but like I don't see they just concede at that point. Like
Well, they've got it. I mean, unless it's the last card and draw.
could be. You know what I mean? Like I just think like why are you giving your opponent more time with your deck to learn it more?
Yes, precisely.
Like I don't know if Tutenkharnage needs more time with this deck to learn it.
I think we have to think about chains at this point. How much is Erasmus worth?
I think this is like I think this while the key differences have been stark between the games, I actually think this is a not so disparate as it might appear. I would say maybe like 8 chains.
Oh yeah, I do think Erasmus' SAS is maybe a little bit overinflated. I don't think there's that much of a difference between the two decks, but I think the matchup definitely favors Erasmus.
Wait, let's see. What is this SAS of Erasmus? 76? Okay. Like I think Erasmus is favored, and I think like somewhere in the realm of like 8 to 10 chains. 8 chains, 9 chains is probably fine. Like I think Kira, whatever we call it, Kiroga has a good chance of winning at that time. And all Kiroga really needs to do is get like a board established and be able to use it. And you know, I think the problem is that like the creature control in Erasmus is actually pretty efficient. Oh, they do get the universal key lock. So
yeah, playing for the win here. And then Jargoggle will play whatever at the end of the turn, likely.
I wonder if there's gonna be a funny Jargoggle trick here. Looks like that's what they're planning on.
Or maybe they ward it.
No, they're definitely killing it.
There it goes. A Flaxia.
Flaxia.
Nice.
Oh, that's nice. That's kind of nice.
Now, if you're Yarn, it's 3 amber, and you win.
Yeah, you don't need to.
See if they've got 3 amber in hand.
So we got a Brilix Ponder, just gonna take him down. Worm Tunnel is gonna draw 2 cards.
Discarding the gift of the Anchor Flare to archive the gift of amber there.
That's actually really nice.
Yes. Especially considering Echo Fly will just die to Fangtooth.
Yeah.
I do admire the commitment from Tutenkharnage here. Not going down without a fight.
It is an out Floxmal, but they have to break the key lock. I get it. They're playing for like maybe that does win, but like they still have to break the key lock. Like they have to generate another 2 plus 8 amber. 9 amber. They have to generate another 9 amber in the next like 2 turns. That's a tall ask for this deck.
Yes, especially with Gravid Cycle being a pip with a Mega, so that won't work with Key Charge. You've already played the Flaxia, so.
Okay, well, I mean, maybe they trade the Flaxia here, like, you know, on another. Maybe like they trade the Flaxia, they get it back with a regrowth. Like it can happen. Oh, and they get the Babbling Bibliophile. They get a daughter down. Like this is the kind of Logos Bard that, you know, maybe if this stuck like, you know, 3-4 turns ago.
Yes, I think you're just too far behind now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we know they got exactly. We know they got a gift for Amber.
Gonna steal it.
Like you just Like if they gift Amber their own cards here, I think that is game. Which actually, I think at that point, I think they probably should have special delivery their Skip Glorious just to like play that as an out. Because like we've seen no special delivery value, and like that's just been sitting there.
Yes.
Which is just a shame, right? Like they have reshuffled, and that is there has been some reasonable cards that you should have delivered, and that not being played throughout the entire, that not being used is just it's advantage. It's advantage sitting on the table, which I don't think you can do when you're the underdog.
Yeah, I reckon it gets remote accessed here. I don't think we've seen it yet.
And they're at 10. Not. Yeah. And we got a DDoS, so they can't play any creatures bigger than 3.
Well, that is game.
Yeah. Yep.
I think Tutenkharnage here kind of showcasing how the Worlds Collide deck wins next game.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. This is how the Worlds Collide deck wins next game. But I do think probably around 8-9 chains is probably pretty reasonable. Which I'd love to hear from the chat. If everyone in the chat, I know you're very smart. I know you are all very good at adaptive. Sound off what you think what you'd bid for the Amber Skies deck. How many chains?
I think I'm in agreement here with you with 8. I think 8 to 10 is reasonable, especially considering you don't start.
That's true. They can special deliver the Brilux. That's a good point. So small optimization there. Small lack of optimization that the Harvest Skimmer should have gone to the other side of the Brilux. Good catch. All those little things matter. Like when we get to the game, like small things like that are going to matter.
Yeah, I think in the first game we saw Venomark go on a flank and then was immediately Kaimod. If you put that in the middle, that doesn't happen.
Exactly, yeah. You know, like I love cards that make battle line order matter. So we see Entropic Swirl hits Harvest Skimmer to gain 2 Amber, and
well, we're certainly seeing how Dataforge can work here.
Yeah. Yep. You're just not getting a free Dataforge though in this deck. You're getting like you're using Amber for it.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're using the special delivery to get Skip the Glorious, and then they're gonna.
And that's that.
GG's. Okay, well played.
GG's.
All right, so now it's 1-1. We will get game 3.
I'm excited to see what our players go with. I think when it does come to KAGI Grishhammer, I think anything below 6 is like the decks either have to be very similar in performance.
Yeah, I think anything
6 chains goes in an eye.
I think like 1 to 3 meaningless.
Yeah.
I think it almost like never matters. It basically means like that's basically just like jockeying for which deck you want to play, rather than like actually bidding on what you think the deck needs to be handicapped by.
Yeah.
And then like 4 to 6 is like very close, but one deck is slightly favored in a matchup.
Yeah, and you just need those first few turns to go your way.
Exactly, yeah. And then like the then after above 6 is sort of when it's like, okay, one deck is clearly better. And I think like a good evaluation tool is like every card not drawn is 1 amber in the matchup. It's a very, very rough baseline, but I think it's a pretty fair. Now you can also use the Sloppy Lab Work tool, the Sloppy Lab Work method, the one that QuickDraw developed for chain bidding, which is a bit different, right? It's a little bit like looking at like what deck's faster, what deck has more creature control, all that kind of stuff. Actually, you can see. Maybe I can pull up.
I think with all the medals under QuickDraw's belt, maybe the Sloppy Lab Work tool has helped them out.
Maybe. I mean, obviously, a lot of their.
We ready for game 3, Mirth? There we are.
I can't I don't know where they've got their oh, maybe it's in their adaptive short primer. But if you do want an interesting read, I'd recommend checking out this article from Sloppy Lab Work on their website. Which can kind of help you go through it. This one is specifically about adaptive short, so like adaptive best of 1, but it'll apply to adaptive best of 3.
5 base bidding is my favorite way to bid. Just pick your favorite number. Both our players taking a couple of minutes to make themselves comfortable.
Not allowed.
No, straight into it.
I think that shows a weak work ethic.
I'm still a little unsure why Tutenkharnage played out there. I think maybe they're just trying to
they
see
might
on their end.
Yeah, they might want to fill it out. I mean, there is I guess they think they know their deck. I think maybe they thought there was a world where that happens. Maybe there's a world where they get stuck on a few hands where they don't have any amber. They forge this key at 9, and then they're able to cycle for key charge and win that way, right? Maybe there probably is a world where that could work out, right? It was still how many turns after key lock. Key lock was turn 8 and the game was over turn 10. So I think there is a world where Tutenkharnage just gets 2 turns and they can probably win. That's also true. It could just be the principle of not conceding and just playing the game out. That's fair too.
You everyone... got the title?
I did update the title. Yeah.
I didn't have to remind you.
You did not.
Professional streamer.
Sometimes. I do technically get paid, so I am professional. I get like 15 cents. 15 cents on ads every year.
Hey, it's better than nothing.
Exactly. Oh, okay, very good.
You have to file out on your taxes though.
I do actually file out my taxes.
Oh, so maybe it's not worth the effort of the
I don't get taxed on it. Yeah, I'm very curious about the bid too.
What are we thinking? Not tonight. How many chains?
Yeah, not tonight. Everyone, call your chains now. Call the chain bid now.
Straight into 6.
Ian going straight to 6. Not playing around. Not tonight says 8.
Not getting a small ladder going on.
And we got Grishhammer. Grishhammer here was a teammate with Tutenkharnage for Coat, which is actually pretty cool. Miss Coat. Coat was I never played in it. I know Kalos did. Coat was actually before my time, but always seemed
Coat was fantastic.
Seemed like a great time.
back in the good times where you had 150 people playing tournaments.
Yes, yeah, back in the day. Also, welcome in, Kelly. Kelly SR23.
I do actually have 2 coat playmats. One of them is currently on one of my box storages.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. Humble
So I'm
brag.
protecting the work surface with the coat playmat. I wonder where those two, where the hosts are at. I've not seen them in a long time. Maybe they've moved on.
Also, if you haven't already, I highly recommend hitting the follow button on the channel, so you can get keep abreast of when I actually go live, which hasn't been too often these days, but we're getting better. You know, we're getting better. There's gonna be KAGI Top Cut to cover. There is lots of stuff going on. So there's gonna be the new event that Riku and Orion are putting on.
Oh yeah.
So I think there's lots of stuff that's gonna be real good.
If you're not following Mirth, what are you doing?
That's what I'm saying. And if you aren't following Kalos, I highly recommend you do so here.
I will be streaming some KAGI matches if I have the chance. I unfortunately did not hit top cut myself, but I'm happy to commentate.
Sorry, I actually will resend that and I'll pin it. So if you haven't already, I recommend go check out Kalos' stream at Red Panda 7777.
An honorable pin. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the follows.
Oh, we do go to 8 here.
They do get 8. I think the 8. I think 8's a fair number.
So Tuten's playing his own deck, right?
That's correct. Yep. Ian passed.
So both players happy here, I think. I think I'm happy to play 8 chains, and if I'm playing my own deck, maybe I'm happy to play against.
Now they are going second, so they won't get the benefit of the extra of the chain shedding that first player gives you. Wait. Oh yeah.
Is Jan gonna spill that knowledge here, or is he gonna tell them afterwards? Yes, playing your own deck is fun. There is a level of discomfort playing someone else's deck a lot of chains.
And I think that's like a really interesting discussion. Is that how confident are you in piloting their deck? Like where does that comfort fit into the chain spree? I know some of the decks that I play in adaptive I'm very, very comfortable playing them, and I only was able to get the most out of the decks after like a ton of reps, and so I'm more confident that they will play my deck worse than I can play their deck.
Yes.
So I think if we're talking about purely competitively, as Not So Nice says, unless someone else's deck is super fun, that is also a good thing. But there's also a thing where it's like, I know my deck is more complicated than they were able to grasp in 2 games than I was able to grasp from their deck in 2 games.
Yes.
So
I think Erasmus is definitely an example of a complicated deck. I look forward to seeing what Tutenkharnage brings to the table in this one.
Yeah, me too.
So they did Mulligan, didn't? Oh no, we don't get to know until Jan decides, right?
Correct, yeah.
I do think if you get Ben O'Mark down early, then you both got chains, which is a funny situation.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things too where I think 2 cards down, like 4-card hand, very different than a 5-card hand. Like I think Tutenkharnage is going to be fine on a 5-card hand for a lot of the game. So it's going to be about these first 2 turns, which is why I think 9 is a very reasonable, because 3 turns at 4 cards is much more likely to allow the Worlds Collide to get set up. The issue is that Ian doesn't really necessarily want the deck at 9. So the 8-bit there is sort of like it is a nice little sweet spot, I think, for if you're playing Erasmus.
I think if you're Jan here, you want the Chimera Eclipse discarded, perhaps. You don't want to discard you don't want to shuffle the daughter back in.
I agree. I think that is something you're going to discard on your own.
It's a favorable discard here.
Yeah, I agree. Not tonight. Dollar turn 1 already is a different game. And then Rig Lottery doesn't hit a thing. Hits all the good logos cards. That is brutal. Ouch.
Yeah.
That is not what you want to see at all, especially with a daughter on the board. Like, you want those logos cards in hand. Ah, man. Now they do hit this. They do hit one of the Arises. They hit a Worm Tunnel. They hit the DDoS, and they hit the Mindfire. Like that. Those are good cards. Or was the Mindfire played? No, Mindfire was
played.
Okay, yeah. So they didn't hit anything of consequence.
Hitting the Arise is decent, but you don't want Arise at this point anyway. So. Yeah, I was just wondering that. TCO being strange. I do like the Oubliette though, so if Rig Lottery had had a favourable discard, I think that would have been a good turn. Otherwise, there are some very bad discards there you want in hand. Yes, no disc creatures here in the Rig Lottery there. Here comes the Venom Mark.
Oh, well, they didn't hit any disc creatures because they're all in hand.
Yes. Depending on what you've got in hand here, perhaps it's worth trading the daughter. I probably wouldn't, but if you think about it, maybe it is.
I don't think it's worth it. I mean, I don't think it's worth it, but especially with like this has already been a little, like this has already been, you know what I mean? Like you're more likely to play with other things. So yeah, I agree. I agree, Grishammer. But when my opponent has a rise, it's always perfect. It's always perfect.
Yes. I did before KAGI started, I did play around with a double Arise deck that I had, but the inconsistency was not doing it for me.
The 2 Arise though, that's really nice because it means you're kind of guaranteed to probably get 1 at a reasonable time.
It's so much better in Amber Skies with all the other house enhancements as well.
I agree. Now this is a nice board too. Also, having the elusive on the daughter to fight Suspended Mana into, really nice. That amount of disruption.
I think daughter is likely to die this turn though. Unless you have a Pampacker Anger around.
Doesn't.
Chimera Eclipse?
Yeah.
I'm a fan of shuffling Flaxia back in.
Yeah.
And Umber is sacrificed in Daughter's place. I got an instant play from Tutenkharnage here.
Remote access, really nice.
Yeah, that's a strong turn.
Now, this is Ian. If that board had lived, I think Ian would have been a really a nice position for the game. But now we see the Exploders come down. We got a board set up. We got a small advantage engine in the Thought Catcher. And we only got three less cards now. We're upping on 5-card hands, and there's 3 turns of it. So I don't know.
Yes.
I
think we're seeing the swing here. I think.
Yeah. Oh, Harmonia here could be a huge. Oh, love it.
You know what? Just like that.
Oh, you love to see it. That was a nice turn. And the wonderful thing about that too is that now the Universal Key Lock can now come down to Ian's advantage, right? They're not under pressure to force his first key. So I think that's great too.
Yeah, key charge there, definitely appreciated. I think there's some games where you're like, I don't know if you play key charge there, losing one amber, but I think with all the capture in the deck, key charge was definitely worth playing.
Oh, Keylock got discarded by Rig Lottery. Good not tonight.
Yep, never mind. No Keylock can play. And the Gravid Cycle's gone too, so you can't even bring it back.
Yeah, I agree. Would be the commentary was correct, and just the game sense awareness was not.
Yes. Still, with Yarn just being a flat key up here, maybe we just want to keep pushing amber.
Well, that's huge, right? Like being a key up here this early is actually very big for ianyoinc. Like that is like the first game they played, they only had one key, and like we're barely even threatening for second. So like to have one now already, they have a decent Untamed board up. They've got their Harmonia. If their Harmonia lives, like they can get a lot of value here. Like they're I think they're in good shape. Like the Pempeka Onga is gonna help get value off the Fangtooth Cavern. Like I think this is looking okay. This is looking okay for Ian.
Yes, with all the creatures being played as well, I think we're gonna see a couple of amber.
I wouldn't necessarily mind like an Untamed turn, right? Like they can fight with the Tentadlin.
Yes. Do we know what that archive is? No, we don't.
No, it was a random off the top from Skippy.
The dream to be in there would be another Rise, I think.
I mean, this would be a great turn to have a Infinity Strap too. Oh, I guess they won't kill anything, so it doesn't matter. Never mind. Infinity Strap has to kill something with 2 damage before it can deal with the rest.
Slayer will help it.
I don't know how I feel about Slayer. Slayer at the same time feels like really overtuned, but then at the same time, just like because of the nature of modern Keyforge, it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the little finagling of Grasping Vines with the Fangtooth Cavern. It's not what's one extra amber, you know? Get it.
Yeah.
Unsuspecting Prey is nice.
Doesn't kill the daughter though.
Fangtooth.
We saw this happen last time.
Yeah, it's just like, why are you not
destroying a 3 power is worth it?
I don't understand. Like, you can kill the daughter. Like, I really don't understand why they're not getting value off of the Fangtooth Cavern. Like, it's like they're negatively. Oh, it was Infinity Strap in the archive.
Yes, which with the Slayer would have been very nice, but.
I do not understand why you'd want to do that. I also understand why you want
maybe.
I also understand why you want to put, like, why you put damage onto your Tentadlin. They could fight into the Daughter's Elusive.
It did kill the Slayer though, because of the.
Yeah, but you could have killed the Slayer with the Fangtooth Cavern. Like, it's just I know I'm harping on it, but like I just think like those small things of Unsuspecting Prey not clearing a board when you desperately need C in Ian's deck, like I just think that's like those are game losing plays. Like they could have one less creature on board right now. Like they could have removed three creatures, so you can still get rid of the Slayer. With what's the point of having 1 damage on Suspended Manor? You have an elusive creature on board that you're hoping not to get rid of. You know,
yes, because the Suspended Manor can just fight the elusive Harmonia anyway.
Exactly, like it doesn't matter. Like there's no, and also if Harmonia wasn't elusive, it's just like they could fight the Tentadlin anyways. Because Tentadlin only does 2 damage. It just like that doesn't matter, and so it would have been way better to hit the daughter with the Unsuspecting Prey. Kill the Slayer, and then you also could have killed the Skippy.
with Amber.
Also, you disconnected from the game cast.
Oh. Thank you for letting me know.
You're
I would
welcome.
have just been staring at the screen waiting.
Yeah, there we go. So we see a disc turn here from Tutenkharnage, which, yeah, that suspended mana will get some value. But I think, you know, you're pretty happy playing... We'll see what the creature control looks like here, if the Harmonia lives or not. But, like, you're happy playing creatures. Okay, after Gamer, it's gonna hit Harmonia. And... What, Skippy? Or Brillix, I guess?
There we are.
And it's a little bizarre to me. Welcome in, Astron. Welcome in. It's a little bizarre to me, too, that that decision hasn't just happened once. Like, it's happened multiple times now.
Yes, we commented on it the last time it happened.
So it's just like, it's obviously an intentional choice. It just, like, is odd. And we see Gift of Amber there, and Gift of Amber is gonna kill the Pimpaka Onga and the Brillix Ponder.
Mm-hmm. And the Spendamander is using itself to fight with the elusive here. I think it's unlikely we see an Untamed replay, and I think all the actions are gone. Oh, you get to pick. Never mind.
Yeah, you get to pick. So, like, that means the subtle chains are so I think the no subtle chains have been played yet, right? Yeah, so subtle chains aren't going to be able to come down, which I think is what you're actually worried about.
Yeah, that hurts. I think a handful of shadows here is likely. Goes Lugos.
Okay, does protect the Harmonia, which is nice.
Interesting.
Oh god, I guess they really want to forge. It is close. I think it is. It's still kind of close. There's still, like, Tutenkharnage still has to, you know, forge 3 keys, and Ian's almost close to a reshuffle.
I think picking the Harmonia is because the Cavern would pick it otherwise, so I don't mind that play.
Yeah, I don't mind it either, but I still think does Suspendamander? I can't click on the card because it has no art. I can't look. Does Suspendamander have 2 traits?
No, just Beast.
Yeah, okay, just Beast.
The Forecatcher does.
Yeah, but it's 5 power, so you're not killing that anyways. So I guess that's fair.
Oh yeah, right.
I guess that's fair.
No, but still, you get the 2 Amber.
Yep, you still get the 2 Amber, you get damage down, but I think they're more. They want the Fangtooth value, which is fair.
I think if I'm picking a position here, I think I'm picking Yarn at the moment. I think Tutenkharnage is behind here.
And Gravit Cycle. Gravit Cycle is also in the bin. If Gravit Cycle wasn't in the bin for Ian, I think you're in good shape. But it is. So yeah, the key charge is still out. The key charge is used. Key lock is used. Most of the Amber, like most of the good stuff is used. So
yes, I think we're gonna see a Shadows turn next turn.
let me see
if the
here.
Suspender Mana doesn't fight.
I'll put the compare link in the chat. So if anyone wants to click on it, I think they should take them to I think even if they're not a patron, it should take them to that link and they can compare the decks to the sums. They look at them side by side. Energy Vampirism.
Nice.
Discards Titan Apparition. It's not going to do anything?
With the DDoS not yet seen, I think that's a smart choice. Ooh.
Okay. So I guess it's a steal 1. It's a roundabout steal 1. Not bad.
Yep, seeing a bit of a board advantage here. I think we're going to see a couple of subtle chains here, though.
And there's 4 raw amber pips left for Ian.
Look at that. That's some card counting right there.
Yeah. So there's 4 raw amber pips. And how many is there? Was 1, 2. There's 6 raw amber pips left for Tutenkharnage. So that is just the Into the Night means they can't fight with the Suspended Manor. That is genuine value. And I think it's likely here that the Umbra survives. So if they can go Shadows again, I
don't know. I think you can fight it at any house.
Yeah, you can. But I'm saying it's Into the Night. Into the Night is.
Oh yeah, you can't fight. Never mind. Yeah, they're likely to survive then.
So like if those are likely to survive, we know they've got 2 subtle chains somewhere. So like if they go like Shadows, steal 1, kill the Skippy with a Vinda, draw 1. Or sorry, it's a discard. Discard. That's still good too. And then you subtle chain for twice. You put them down to a 3-card hand or a 2-card hand. That's good. That's good. Like you're in good shape there. So
yeah, this is
I think if this board survives for Shadows and they do have both subtle chains in hand, I think you're like, that's good. Like there's a world in which a very strong world in which Ian is able to win this game, especially if they're able to get to a position where they can either get the key lock down or they can get the key charge out before the second key is forged. So Suspended Manor, if they do go so they're gonna go they tail no tails. Fair enough. Kind of had hope they didn't have any in the second board clear.
Yeah, kind of forced there, I think.
It totally forced, which is phenomenal because that was a very, very small turn with chains, and they just got another chain with another 2 chains with tail no tails. So I think you're very happy about that if you're Ian.
Yes, especially if you don't even have the subtle chains in hand, because they'll come up next turn.
Yeah, totally. I really think like getting a reshuffle here for Ian now, if they can, really important. You really want to start digging towards that out of there is Data Forge technically is an out, which I think is not seen yet. I don't think it's
no.
So like that's technically something
that big draw's gone.
But I mean, what I mean is like there's a world where they get to key lock them, and then the next turn have like a Data Forge with Amber. Technically, theoretically. Ooh, yes. And then they're gonna regrowth the Harmonia. Great.
Goodness, seen a completely different game here with the chains.
I think it's actually. I just think Ian's had some breathing room, right? They've had a board. The board's been allowed to survive. I think it's.
Harmonia has made so much amber this game.
Yeah.
Does it trigger off itself, or is it each other?
It does trigger off itself if it's the only creature. If there are more friendly creatures after it. So it'll gain Amber now, I should say.
Yeah.
A little confusing way to word it, but...
I think it dies to Cavern here, though, which is a bit of a shame.
What do they... Because they don't have any other small...
I think you just press the advantage and reap with Tantadlin here.
They don't have an archive, so like there's no... I guess like there's just no point in doing it. I don't think killing Skippy's all that important.
Yeah.
Especially with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... How many Logos cards are played? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they've only got 3 Logos cards in deck. They're on a 5-card hand. I don't think that's not worth...
Yes, I think at this point you're pushing ahead.
Ooh, Plexia. They're going to reap with Tantadlin to go to 5.
Yeah. Very likely, I suspect.
And that's it, right? That's their entire Untamed. That's their entire Untamed played. No reshuffle though, which is really bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, their entire Untamed is gone, but we know they've got 2 Subtle Chains in hand.
So Tutenkharnage can figure out exactly what the hand is. So they spent the time here.
Yeah, they can. And I would if I was them. This is an elimination match.
So it's 2 Subtle Chains, a Data Forge, a Babbling Bibliophile. Yeah.
That sounds about right.
It's a Poke as well. So that's 5 of them. And then the last one's not in Untamed. Is it a Hologramophone? No, that's used. I'm not sure what the last card is. Hapsis?
I know Hapsis, but I actually don't know what the last card is. I'm sure it's not that hard to figure out, but it is escaping me. Oh, Oubliette? No, Oubliette was played. First card. Okay, so we get an Arise on the Dis, which is really rough.
Yes, the capture pips. We can get to check here though with the 2 Subtle Chains.
I mean,
and there's nothing on board that can stop.
I think you just reap.
Or you go Untamed, yeah.
I think you just reap.
Yeah, there's still a world where the 2 discards.
Yeah, I agree.
Really help you.
I agree. Not tonight. They chose Untamed for Suspend Demander, and they just don't have. They didn't count. They don't have any Untamed cards.
Yeah, probably should have taken the time there to definitely pick Shadows. Yeah, because I think.
Yeah, that's just a misplay. Not
I mean, it doesn't matter here because they didn't pick any ammo control cards in hand, but you at least force them to go in Untamed if they want to get to check if you pick Shadows.
Yeah, but they reshuffle now. They hit your Echo Fly. To get like the Echo Fly could have gotten their Arise, you know, like it's and they're forced to respond here. I don't know how many capture pips are left in the deck.
I think that is big. I think you definitely pick Shadows there. Because then if they're forced to go to Untamed, they don't reshuffle the deck because they've got no Untamed cards left.
So there's 8. How many? Do we know how many Amber capture pips are in the deck? 8's been used. Like 8 are out on the board.
I don't think we've seen a strong feeling, right? So that's still around, but
That's
I think
Tutenkharnage
is just hinting at being in the draw still.
Yep.
So this might be game here.
Yeah, but the situation's avoidable if they just picked Shadows last turn. They would have had another round of breathing room. They still. My guess is if that was the case, they would have picked Untamed and gone to 7.
Yeah.
But I just think it's just a. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I played the Shadows turn there. I think the Subtle Chains just reduce the options.
No, but if Tutenkharnage had counted and chosen Shadows as the like, I just think it was a little bit picking Untamed. It was objectively wrong, but still kind of doomed to get go to 7.
I think you can still kill the Fort Catcher to draw a card. I don't know if that helps. I don't think there's a way to reclaim 2 Amber back after the Fort Catcher dies.
That's the problem.
So that's probably game.
Manifestation could be in the deck too, to be fair. So they could like.
Yes, Manifestation has not yet come out.
I mean, this is the chains, right? This is the chains we saw. Tutenkharnage, right? We saw them. They were able to flip their deck like halfway through the game last time, and now they're 10 turns in, which is what they've won by, and they haven't even gotten through the deck yet.
Yes, and the Tell No Tales adding 2 extra chains on top is still impacting them here.
Yeah. So I think just the chains mattered.
I don't think we're seeing any outs on our side, are we?
Don't think so. They need 1 capture pip, which I think is only left on. Oh, I guess there's
a
two.
worm
There
tunnel as
is
well.
the worm tunnels left. They need 2. DDoS. Does DDoS have a capture pip? It did. Oh, it's already played. JK.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're screwed.
Oh yeah, I hadn't even considered you can just loop.
Yeah, you can do a rule. You can do a rule 6 and Necrofly in this strong feeling.
That's gross.
Yeah. It never
As
came
an
through.
Necrofly expert, I'm embarrassed I didn't see that.
Yeah, it can. It never came out.
I saw that you could ready the Necrofly. I just didn't think you could then bring it back and do the same thing. Very cool.
It might have been Grishhammer. It might have been intentional. I just. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Harmonia's not how you win the game, is what I would say. Like, I don't think the Harmonia value is how you win the game. Stopping their board from reaping, I think, is how you would put yourself in position to win.
It certainly worked out for them here, though.
It did. You know, they did win. But I still don't know if it was the right decision. GG's, well played.
Well played.
And I'm pretty sure my bracket's still intact. My bracket prediction, because I think I had Ian as a winner on that.
Yeah, if you didn't draw a strong feeling, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, nothing matters.
Fair. Well played to both people here. I'm gonna shoot off to go grab myself some dinner.
Sounds good. Thank you for casting Kalos. If people don't know, you can follow Kalos at their channel, which should be pinned in the chat here.
Of course. Thank you for letting me co-commentate.
Please go check them out. Give them a follow. They do stream.
Let's do it again sometime.
Yeah, I think it was very close.
All right. Goodbye, chat.
See you, Kalos. Yep, I agree. Oh, the combo never came through for anyone. Like the combo. Like the combo was never came out in any of the games, which I think is why Ian obviously didn't even notice it. But if that goes up, I don't think you can. If you can in here somewhere, though, I think it come out. But yeah, very well played. Well played to both players. That's well done. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thank you, everyone, for following. Thank you for the follows. I hope you enjoyed that, because it was a really, really fun game. I enjoyed it. I think it was fun to cast and some good content. But that's going to be it from me, everyone. So you'll have a good rest of your evenings, and I will catch y'all later.